Hi, this is Janice Perkins with Capacity, and I'm joined with Dave Doerre, executive producer of Brand Modern out in the beautiful Los Angeles, California. How are you today?
I'm great, Janice. How you guys doing in Wichita?
You know, we are holding our own just like you are, all
Yeah.
trapped inside wearing face masks. Um, so I'm going to give everybody the PG version of our history because I've known Dave. I've known Dave.
I didn't know there was a PG version.
For 30 years. You know, this is like our 30-year, oh my goodness. We met in college at Doerre University in Springfield, Missouri, and then have a very colorful history after that. And because I know your sisters and your family, and your mom is one of the most wonderful people on the planet, it's still a shock to me that you came from her.
Oh my gosh, how dare you? Is this how you're going to start off the interview, with a hailstorm of insults? Wow. All right, go ahead.
I am. Here we go. I'm breaking the ice. The other thing I decided, I sent you like really serious questions I would ask you, but I thought, because I know you, Dave Doerre, I should also throw a spontaneous curveball your way.
Well, I threw them out, so no worries there.
I figured you would just ignore me and answer what you wanted anyway, right?
Right.
So if you were trapped inside and you wanted to break a Guinness Book of World Records with all your spare time, what would it be?
Oh my God. Just the raw consumption of ding dongs and daytime TV. I mean, it's just everything, because right now you just crave comfort food. You just, I don't want to go on a diet. I just want what you want when someone breaks up with you, because the earth has broken up with us. The earth, they say, you know what? It's not working out. You know what? It's me, not you. The earth is just be like, not so much. And they're going to go their own way. So I think that's how I would feel, is just, I would, cocktail weenies, ding dongs, just it's everything I can do, not just to consume, everything in my general arm path, So yeah, I think that's the record I would break.
I think you would do a fabulous job at it.
Thank you.
But it's really interesting that I've known you all these years, and I didn't know that your comfort food would be cocktail weenies and ding dongs.
Oh yeah,
That's really a lot right there.
Well, it takes a strong man to admit that cocktail weenies is his comfort food. Strong man.
It does take a strong man.
Confidence, yeah.
The other thing I really want you to tell me, because of your entertainment background and the fact that maybe just because you live in Los Angeles, maybe you're a little bit more keyed into the national trends than we are here in the Midwest. We're about 10 years behind everything. We just recently got out of neon clothing.
Well, no, it's so funny you say that, because I was watching Mad Men, because I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, so I know what it is. I mean, it's a big town, but you're still like on the wake reverberation, like LA, like fashion-wise and all that. LA 1969 is St. Louis 1974.
Yes.
In terms of what we were dressing and the music and all that. And I have to say, having been born a Midwesterner, but living on the coast now for over 20 years, you can definitely feel that, but anyway, it's a whole nother topic.
So it is a whole nother topic. So tell me what's the latest, greatest going on in the entertainment industry that we can discover from the comfort of our room online streaming?
Well, the hot new thing in the entertainment industry is rock, paper, scissors. It's really taking over the store. No, there's nothing going on. It's complete standstill, to be honest with you. It really is a complete standstill, because I work in the same field. Like when I work, I'm on set and we're with a large group of crew and talent. And it's about creative people coming together and doing something together that is more compelling and powerful than had we done it alone. And so it's all about that coming together. And so that's all, all the shows. I live in Studio City, so there's movie studios everywhere. And it's really weird, because this town is largely made up of a lot of people who come here to try, to be an actor or actress. These people have a lot of restaurant jobs. So a lot of those folks are really struggling. They're out of work and things. So it's pretty rough. But no, I mean, things are a complete standstill. It's crazy, because this is the entertainment capital of the world. So it's a verb. Things are always moving, happening. There's a million things going on, and it's just stopped. And sometimes I won't leave the car, but I will drive around just to see my city in complete state of pause. I've never seen it like that. And it's kind of spooky to be on the 101 highway, which can horrify you by the traffic usually, and you're the only car on that highway sometimes. It's weird.
So I'm going to give you a little hint, because a lot of the people around here, you know, are outside walking and riding bikes. It was really interesting to me that you're eating cocktail weenies and driving around in your car. You should maybe walk or something. Maybe,
well, and I was,
maybe next time you do a tour.
And crying and you know.
Maybe you should do the exercise side. Oh, is he getting lots of walks?
Oh yeah, he's getting a lot of walks and he's doing really good. But we actually, last night, it doesn't rain very often in LA, so we actually got into my car, and my car has the kind of seats in the back that fold down, so there's like, you can just lay in the back of this thing. And so we just drove down to the beach and just listened to the rain hit the car, and spent time like that during the night, because you know, you're turning into Nicholson in The Shining. You know, you're just getting weird because you're hanging out so much in the same place. So the car is this little escape pod vessel that you go out, and if you don't leave, you're good. You know?
That's true. So tell me, trapped inside, what are you binging on besides the food?
I thought we made that pretty clear, Janice. It's a diet of cocktail weenies and ding dong. I am riddled with high blood pressure and
what are
diabetes.
you binging online?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't help it. So I mean, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm on Netflix. Of course, you have to watch Tiger King, and I'm really catching up, you know, on all the shows. But in a business sense, I think I'm doing a good thing, which is, you know, everyone's able to pull back now and look at their life and look at their business from 30,000 feet, and really, because you know how it is, like one day will bleed into the next,
right?
And there's no real time to strategize. Whereas right now, you know, not to be cliche, but it's like the giant cosmic pause button has been hit, and it kind of forces you to look in that mirror of your life, both professionally and personally, and say, you know, do you like what you see? Is this where you want to be headed? Because you've been so busy running down that highway of life that you haven't had a chance to take a break and look at that. And one of the things that I'm doing, and I think it's smart in general in business, is to, it's not right for all businesses, but for a lot of businesses, is to really determine what is your special sauce. What do you have that no one else has? Like if you're going to a party and everyone's going to bring a casserole dish, what are you bringing that no one else is going to be bringing to that party that will really stand out? And I think that's so important these days, because technology has made it to where you used to have to hunt down customers. Now, if you're doing the right thing and doing it the right way, they'll find you, you know, especially if a certain niche. People's ability to be aware of your business is so much more heightened than it was when our dads owned their businesses and worked and things like that. So I think that's a great advantage, to look and say, what do I do better than anybody else? There's a million things I don't do good, but there are certain core things that I do really well, that you do really well, and for people out there listening, that they do really well. And to have the courage to take that self-inventory and really focus on that. And I think people see better benefits. In a large city like Los Angeles, you have to do it. You can't be like, oh, I do video production. So does everyone else. So does everyone else. It's like saying, oh, I'm Catholic in Vatican City. Everyone's Catholic, you know. So you really have to focus on what separates you, what it means for their business. You can't depend on them to connect the dots. You have to connect the dots for them. This is what I do. This is what it means to you, and this is what it's going to mean for your bottom line, and really be able to articulate that. And so I've been working on those kinds of things in this downtime, which I think will ultimately be pretty beneficial.
No, I think that's really well said. I think that one of the people I was talking to this morning was talking about, she's taken the opportunity to also purge closets because she's at home and homeschooling and working from home, right? And I think that from a business standpoint, like if you think about cleaning your closets as a business, it's really, sometimes we tiptoe around strategy because we're accidentally making money, or we're acquiring customers or services. And it's not really a direct path, and it's not the most efficient path, and it's maybe not exactly what we set out to do or what we were the most passionate about, but at the time we were making money. So when you are talking about taking kind of a look at your landscape, it's really, was I doing what I really wanted to also? Is it the thing I'm best at? Not just am I articulating it the strongest, but is it the direction I wanted to head? We can end up in places we didn't intend in business.
Yeah.
And yes, we all want to chase profitability, but we don't want to chase money and sacrifice what our talents and gifts are. So it's kind of cleaning out our closets all over the place, really.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, if you're not in a, these are times where you hate to whip out the cliches, but cliches are just statements that have been proven to be true over time. And you hear a lot of cliches, these, especially during crisis times like this, but they're true. And one of them would be that, if you're not really doing something that you're passionate about, you're going to be competing against somebody it is their passion.
Right.
It is their passion. And so you might say, oh, geez, especially if it's niche, like that's such a small fragment, but there's more work that you could ever handle if you do that niche better than anybody else.
Right.
And you're better off in that arena than just, waking up, going through the motions, because you'll have your lunch eaten. It's also an important time to look at the world. What is this world going to look like after this event calms down a bit?
Right.
I think relationships, obviously, to get more into cliches, but I think it really puts a highlight on relationships, not just between people, but also brands, the people they want to work with. We're all conscious that life is too short to work with brands or people or maybe be in personal relationships that just aren't working out. Life is short, and it's time to make the connections that we really value in this life. But it's tough because my mom remembers Pearl Harbor, but she can't relate. There's nothing in the human experience of anyone alive today that knows the path ahead, that knows what it's going to be like. But someone mentioned to me something that I looked up, which was quite interesting, was that, as we know, the roaring 20s were this explosion of prosperity. Well, that came right after the Spanish flu. And so hopefully we'll see that same kind of growth where people will want to, do and say the things they've always wanted to say. My analogy of being a big Beatles fan is that in 1968, they went off to Bangladesh, and they got away they were totally isolated in meditation camps, and they didn't have the fans, the media, or anything else like that. They were left with their own thoughts and emotions, much like we are now. And they came out of that experience with the White Album, which is really considered like their most creative period. So hopefully we as a country, as a globe, as a people, will come out of this experience with an explosion of creativity and authenticity that will see a new renaissance on the other side of this thing. And I think we've got a chance to do it, but it is our choice. That is our choice, and hopefully we make that choice.
I'm excited because I think I'll look really good in Fringe. I hope it is the Roaring 20s again.
Yes, I know. You would.
Fringe will make a comeback. Fantastic. No, I really enjoy what you're talking about. And I've had a couple other people tell me the same thing about this really being an incubator for creative opportunity. And thinking about things and seeing things in a way that you wouldn't have before. With what I tell people all the time, when you're trying to problem solve and make decisions on your teams, that you literally should have a change of perspective. Go to a different meeting room in the building, rent space somewhere else, and talk about the same problem, because geographical differentiation makes us think differently. And here we are, all working from home using different methods of communication. All of our perspectives have been shifted, not just because of the health violations and the stay-at-home orders. It's really a geographical separation and perspective shift. So it absolutely should erupt with new creativity and thought.
Right, absolutely. We're kind of like, modern life is kind of like being a rat in a Skinner box. You're just always hit with this stimulus, and you're just making these, these counter movements in regards to being, this information age. We're just inundated. But now for us to step back, in this isolated time, that we can go out and live our best lives. And that, I'll never forget, is what my parole officer told me when I got out of prison. And that really meant a lot to me and really resonated. And I really have lived my best life since that time. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, I think that what we all have to have faith. Faith is going to be that bridge to get us from where we are to where we want to be. And we just have to have faith that the world on the other end is going to be more authentic and real, and that we'll be a big part of that. And but it's on us. So it's a decision.
Right, and it was your probation officer, not your parole officer. Let's be honest.
Sorry, I get.
I always mix those two words up.
There was so many state mandated correction officers in my life at that time. Let's just not go there. Let's just not, no.
Okay, so I have to tell you a funny story, and you can share with me something else, because my job, I feel like, is to find hilarity in the world we live in right now. And I moved on the Friday that like Disney World shut down, whatever, how many weeks ago that was.
Right.
So I moved into a new house, and I hadn't grocery shopped in a few weeks. I was making the kids eat the cardboard boxes, the crackers came in and everything, because I didn't want to buy food. So I went to the grocery store while everyone's hoarding toilet paper just to buy like regular things like ketchup. Okay. So I find it curious, and I stood in the middle of the grocery store aisle and I laughed out loud all by myself amidst people with masks, because there were only 6 bottles of ketchup in the entire aisle. I was like, is everybody having ketchup sandwiches? Like, I don't.
It's a condiment. It's just, it's a condiment. No one's gonna and 20 dead from lack of ketchup. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, my ketchup can last me 6 months. I mean, I don't understand.
People are weird.
I feel bad for those companies. The sales are going to drop tremendously, because everyone's got enough ketchup now to last them until 4th of July 2023. Like, I don't understand.
People are weird, I mean, but this whole experience, it does make you value relationships. And my relationship with toilet paper has never, there was a time where, TP, I took it for granted, and never again, baby, never again, mama.
The bunny rabbit named softly. Fantastic.
Yeah. So,
yeah, all of our perspective has changed. That's, my values now in my ketchup, apparently. I had no idea it was like liquid gold.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you could like, you could like be a moonshiner and just run ketchup across state lines, and be that weirdo in a raincoat. Like, hey, you want some hunts? You want some hunts?
Black market. I bought
First one's free, kid. First one's free. Tell your friends. Yeah. Do you know her? No, I don't know. No, I do not know.
Have you seen anything else crazy like that? What's the craziest thing for you?
I think that hold on, I'm having a weirdness on my Zoom. Oh, there you just came. Okay, you went away for a second. What was your question?
What's the weirdest thing that you've seen? What's the oddest behavior?
Oh, I live in LA, Janice. You don't want to hear that. That's yeah, you
well,
don't. That's not for Christian ears. No.
Outside of traditional odd?
Oh gosh, the weirdest thing. I mean, I think people wearing like buckets on their heads. Like they don't have a medical mask, so they'll put like
a bucket
with eye holes. Oh yeah, just just people get weird. I don't know. I never really go out. I mean, I'm just here all the time. I never go anywhere, so I haven't seen a whole lot in terms of other people's behavior. I mean, you get a lot of people who want you to cheat. Oh, come on, we'll stay whatever. But I'm just trying to be good. So the Martians have not invaded my escape pod yet.
Ah, very good. You're pure. Yeah. You're purebred. So yeah. What is the silver lining for you? What have you found on the bright side for you personally?
I think a lot of the bright side has been, taking the time to really connect with old friends, really just talking to people, and because we're having that shared experience. When this all happened at first, it kind of felt like the days after 9/11, that kind of like shocked, that collective experience that we're all going through. It's such a bonding thing. And I think the bright side of that is to make the most of that bonding, to call the people that you care about, to call the old friends you haven't talked to in a long time, to reassess your relationship, what you want. I mean, it's just this giant, like I said, celestial, boom, pause button. And the excuse that we always say, then we can't do something, it's, oh, I don't have the time. Well, you got the time. You have the time right now, more so now than ever. So it's just about making the most of that time and charting your course, because to your point, I mean, you really have to guide the ship. You really think that, one day bleeds to the next. You're just going to kind of float off in the general direction that you want to be. But it's a time like this that you really have to grab the wheel and really take things where you want to go, and it's just a great opportunity to do that. So it can be exciting in that way,
That's well said. I'm going to let you plug what you do for your business.
I know.
Okay, Dave, before we sign off, I want you to tell everyone about Brand Modern.
Right. So Brand Modern has been around for about 14 years. I think one of the things that makes Brand Modern unique is that it works with major Fortune 500 companies for branding, product launches, things like that. So Hewlett Packard, Ricoh, T-Mobile, all the big boys. But then we're able to apply that to our smaller and mid-sized brands as well, who would like to move up the food chain a bit and really get their messaging down, really get their brand identity down. One of the things that makes us unique is that we also have a humor gear. We also are able to harness the power of humor for marketing purposes. And one of the reasons why that's really important is because, you know, humor is an authentic human response. It's something that we feel good about, and we feel that we're good at applying that good feeling towards your brand. And so, you know, when you look at something like the Super Bowl, they harness the power of humor because it's effective. Also, it's much more memorable when it comes to their messaging and things like that.
Some of them try and don't succeed too.
What's that?
Some of them try and don't succeed too.
No, yeah, and it's, you know, and the thing is that, like, you have to be very careful because you want the humor to fall within the bounds of their brand. You know, you're not going to want to be doing something that's completely off the mark and it can get people confused about your brand. But making that authentic connection, whether it be, you know, digital storytelling, an authentic human story, or something funny, we think that when people feel something for your brand, they're more likely to be engaged in it. So that's one of the things that we feel is a real strength for us.
It is, and I will tell everyone that humor is Dave's specialty. He's memorable. Absolutely memorable. Burned into my retinas are memories with you.
Yeah, yeah. And you're uniquely tied to my prison story, but we won't go there.
We won't need to go there.
I'm still waiting for an apology, but you know, it's a lot of years later. So we'll, you know, live and let live. We'll forget. Oh. Okay.
I'm going to share screen. So
oh my gosh.
There's Dave on the left with the hat, and me with the still big hair in the middle. In circa 1995, 96, maybe. We think.
Oh gosh, you don't think that was like 91 or 92? Or they were drinking somewhere, and I wasn't legal, so I don't know. Yeah, that'd be definitely the midnight.
I'm pretty sure it was just post college, because I'm thinking that maybe that was at a friend's wedding we came to town for, possibly. But Dave and I crossed paths because we originate from Missouri. We spent some time in Chicago and London, and at various road trip sites in between all of those places, I do believe. It has been way too long since we've been in the same place.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, no, that is the absolute truth. Yet I still feel completely connected to you, and so it's like not a second has gone by, you know. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Dave, for joining me today on The Bright Side. I really appreciate seeing you. It's always fun to have a conversation with you, and I never know where it's going to turn, which is a delight.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Janice, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay.